Okay, so welcome Kiran on your PDA panel. Before moving on the technical subjects, please tell me about yourself and for which exam you are preparing for.
Good afternoon, sir. My
Very
name
good
is
afternoon.
Kiran. My name is Kirandeep Kaur. I am from Amritsar in Punjab. I did my schooling from Shri Guru Harkrishan Public School in Amritsar. And currently I am pursuing my graduation in Bachelor's of Technology in Computer Science and Engineering from Guru Nanak Dev University in Amritsar. In my third year, I started preparing for GATE exam. I secured All India rank of 1137. I'm a hardworking, self-motivated, and dedicated person. My strength is being an optimistic person, quick learner, and an adaptable person. My biggest weakness is time management. However, I'm working hard to overcome it. Currently, I'm in my last semester. My CGP up to 7th semester is 9.47. I'm working on my B.Tech project right now, which is handwritten digit recognition. I'm highly interested in pursuing a career in BARC. Thank you.
Okay, so you are you are preparing for the interview for BARC, fine.
Yes.
So as you mentioned that, can you tell me about favorite subjects?
So my favorite subjects are data structure, algorithm, C programming, and operating system, database management.
Okay, so start with algorithm. So can you describe me algorithm? What do you mean by algorithm?
Algorithm is a finite set of instructions to solve a particular problem. We can say that algorithm is step-by-step solution of a problem.
So can you describe me the characteristics of an algorithm?
Algorithm should be clear, it should be unambiguous, it should be finite, that is, it should stop after definite number of steps. It should generate at least one output, and it should externally we can provide zero or more inputs. Sure.
Okay, so can you just tell me that you said that it should have finite number of steps. So can I say if my program has finite number of steps, then it always stop within a finite amount of time?
Uh, it can take longer time. It depends upon the
It will take longer
like
long
it
okay
if
it
it is fine if the algorithm is finite, it will definitely stop in some steps in after some finite steps.
No, my point is if number of instructions are finite,
Okay.
fine,
No,
like
then it is not always that the algorithm will stop at finite number of steps because some instruction may lead to infinite loop. Um,
can you tell me any instruction which goes into infinite loop?
yes, like while implementing recursion, if we don't mention the base condition or halting condition, our algorithm might fall in infinite loop.
Great. So
Like if we
right.
example, like if we want to print some numbers, and like if I equal to 0, I less than like 10, I don't mention I minus, I plus, like I plus plus, it doesn't reach 10 up to 10, so
Great.
it will uh,
Great. So can you tell me insertion sort?
yes. Insertion sort is one of the sorting algorithms. It follows divide and conquer approach in which we divide the problem into subparts and then solve the subparts recursively. It can be like we are playing a deck of cards and we are picking some card. We are like if we pick up first card, it is always sorted. Like then if we pick second card, we will compare it with the first card. If it is smaller, it will be on the left side of the first card. If it is bigger, then it will be on the right side of the first card. Again, we pick up the third card, we will compare on the previous two previous two cards. If it is smaller, then we will place it on the appropriate position and so on.
Okay, can you tell me it is uses divide and conquer or greedy?
Divide and conquer.
How we are dividing?
Mm. No, it doesn't use this divide and conquer. Either it uses greedy. We'll compare. We will pick the element and we'll compare it on the left
Yes,
side of it.
we just pick up the element and start comparing with that only. That's why it only go for greedy, not the divide and conquer. Fine. You know
Yes.
binary search?
Yes, sir.
Binary search uses which type of technique?
Divide and conquer.
Is it used fully divide and conquer or partial divide and conquer?
Uh, uh,
Take your proper time, just think. Okay. Just think about the operations you have done in binary search.
it partially binary search. It,
Partial means
divided.
which operation binary search not perform? Either divide or other combine.
Combine.
Very good. Okay, so your approach is the right one. Just take your proper time, think about the operations, and then analyze each and every operation that it may be divide or it may be combined. Fine. In
Yes.
interview also you have to show your behavior like this only. Fine. And
Yes.
I have 100% sure that you will be selected in Barc because your awesome is great. So your knowledge is great. Fine, fine. Next is so if have you heard a statement that for small size input we use insertion sort
Yes.
instead of merge sort? Can
Yes.
you tell me worst case behavior of merge sort? What is the time complexity?
Um, Modes or time complexity in all the cases like best case, average, or worst case is n log n. And
And what about insertion sort?
in worst case, time complexity is n square. Order
But
of
still n square is far worse than n log n, but we are going to use insertion sort for small size input. Can you tell
yes.
me why?
Okay. Because mode sort it follows like divide and conquer. It recursively calls the function. Then for small size input, it is overhead. We will it will interrupt. It will we will need to switch from user mode to kernel mode to call the function.
Okay,
But in case of
so
insertion sort,
Kiran,
if
Kiran, I am interrupting you. Don't give hint like this that you know user kernel and user thread and kernel thread or user interrupt or kernel interrupt. Fine. Otherwise, what you are giving in a hint that please switch or so please switch my interview from algo to OS. You have to manipulate these things. Okay, you can say that it is an overhead in terms of extra space in terms of division operations because always we are trying to divide our problems into sub problems, that is overhead. And again for sorting, even though we have very small number of input, then why we are using extra arrays? That's why these two factors create some constant value, creates a constant value which is very high. Because if we talk about the asymptotic notation definitions of BIGO, it says that f of n is less than c dot g of n. Now in case of c in merge sort, that c is too high. Keep in mind, fine, because these are some constant things. That's why, sir, instead of moving towards n log n time for merge sort, we go for n square, because we cannot say that n square is always less than equal to n log n. Sir, if we because asymptotic notation is just a tool which provides me approximation of the growth or rate of growth. Suppose we have very big function x square plus 100x minus 200 plus 1 lakh, and we have one more function that is x cube plus 5. So in this case, if we maybe you just take two random functions which are more complex in their nature. So if we find out the rate of growth, we have to construct the graph. But for a normal human being, it is very hard or complex to draw the graph and find out or analyze. the rate of growth of these two curves. Okay, maybe if we take only 100 slots in our screen, maybe we get that first function rate of growth is high. But if we are not considering next to 100 points, maybe in that next 100 points the f2 growth is high. Are you getting my point what I'm
Yes.
trying to say? Fine.
Yes.
So it in generalized way we are using asymptotic notations, but that is the not the correct approach. Fine. That's why, sir, I am saying that the constant factor is too high or too big, such that it overall dominates the things. That's why for small size, n square is better, because constant factor is too high in case of n log n. Are you getting my point? What
Yes.
happened na, in this definition or in this my answer, I am not using any concept or any other terms which is not related to algorithm. Like highly I am maximum I am just use asymptotic notation word. So they maybe go for next question from asymptotic notation only. Fine, great.
Yes.
So your answer is right. So now we can go for, like, are you know hashing?
Yes.
Why we use hashing?
To minimize the search time, because in any other data structures, the search time can't be improved. Like we have gone for trees also, but in trees, when we get a skewed trees, again the time complexity of search operation is order of n. So to minimize the time complexity for search operation, we use hashing.
Okay, so you say that to minimize the search operations. It means, sir, search why search take more time? The reason in being, sir, we have to go through one by one each element. We are not storing our data in a specific manner. That's why we have to iterate over the inputs, and then it will take order of n times, right? It
Yes.
means in hashing, our task is to first store the data in specific way, then only we can go to that particular element. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So can you think like that? It is a overhead in that case hashing, because at least we have to fix our data while storing. Then only we are going for searching.
Uh,
Are you getting my point? What I'm trying to say?
yes, sir. Yes.
Fine.
Okay.
Is storing a
Stay,
data in hash table is a overhead?
uh, Not actually, we can say, because once we have stored the data, the other operations like search operation becomes faster. We
Yes.
just need to store the operation data at once.
Very
Then
good.
all the other operations can be performed quickly.
Very good. You can say that, sir, for first time while storing the data, it may be an overhead, but if we talk about the overall thing, then if we next time from searching onwards, the time taken by these operations are very less. So overall, it dominates the all the things. So your answer is perfect. Fine, very good. So next point is, even though we know that collision occurs and we use some collision techniques, can you find out that suppose if we are using linear probing, or if we are using listing, or we have to store via making some list also. Fine,
Mhm.
fine. So
Yes.
can you think that still it will take order of n time if we have like we are if we want to store some data which is out of the bucket, like size number of input is greater than the bucket size. Fine, then
Yes, sir.
we have to store the maintain a linked list where we can store the data. In that case it will take order of n time.
Yes.
Yes. So,
Yes, sir.
it means, can I say it is an again an overhead or impractical, not a practical thing, that first of all we have to know about the input,
Okay.
then only we can implement the hashing. Don't you think that it is again a problem for us?
Uh, these cases arise like very rarely. Generally, we use universal hashing in which the probability of each bucket is uniform.
Very good. Very
So
good. Very good. So, Kiran, I think so that you are a bit comfortable with algorithm and data structure. Your knowledge is so great. So, you are the first like student from my past 5 to 7 years of experience of in interview field. So, you have a great knowledge. So, keep in mind, just I think you have to go through other topics in terms of algo. Like you are a bit comfortable. I want to ask some more questions that are just coming in my mind. That suppose we are using stack, fine.
Yes.
Suppose stack has what type of operations? Can you tell me?
It has, we can push the operation, like push means to insert the element in the stack, pop operation to delete the element from the stack, peek operation to show the topmost element of the stack.
So if I implement a find operations,
Okay.
so how much time it will take? Find a particular
Uh,
element.
okay. Uh, so order of n time.
Very worst case is order of n, the height of the stack.
Yes.
Fine. So these questions already asked in IIT Madras interview 2 days ago. Okay. These are the simple questions, basic questions. So you can expect all the basic problems, not the which you already read in the GATE syllabus, but overall the concepts are same. Fine. So I'll give you some hint of the problems which already asked in MS interview. Fine. So these are like, please listen carefully. So, or either I can do one thing. I'll send you, forward you in your WhatsApp. Okay. You
Okay.
may get an idea that what type of problems they will ask you. Okay. Fine. So again,
Yes.
Kiran, it's a great interview. So you are very bit comfortable with Algo. My suggestion is now, on which date you have the interview for Barc?
9th June.
9th of June.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you have enough time. So go and try to prepare two more subject at least. Fine. Either
Okay.
you can go with any of the subject. Either you can go for DB, you can go for OS, you can, and first of all you have to go through the playlist of linear algebra, MIT
Yes, sir.
course. You have gone through
Okay.
MIT course playlist of
Yes.
linear algebra, you know?
Yes. No, sir, I have not found. But
Okay,
in the
okay.
previous
Oh,
session, you asked to
okay,
prepare
okay. Do
how to
one thing.
prepare.
I'll send you the link of that particular lecture. So it has almost 25 lectures. So you must go through all these lectures. Okay, because
Yes.
in future also, maybe it will be helpful for you. 1 minute. Mm, okay. Although it has 74 lectures, but no need to go for all the 74 lectures. Just go through the problems like what is the significance of finding eigenvalue, why we find eigenvalue, significance of cofactor, determinants, properties of cofactor determinants, why these properties behave like this, and what are the graphical representations of the matrices or the linear algebra. Fine.
Yes, sir.
And next, I want to share some interview experience. Okay. So you get an idea that this type of problem. Okay.